I pulled away to see if he could step up. Because I was sick and tired. I just felt so exhausted, like I know you feel out there. You just feel so exhausted. You're so tired. You're so done. You just give and give and give, and you never receive a return on your investment. And it's going to be helpful, especially if you've been following me a while, to really know what happened, and then also what could happen in your life if you need to be doing that. I got a new job. And all the people I worked around were men, but like one girl. And I get along with guys. Like they're just easy to get along with. Like I grew up with 4 brothers. So when I got this job, the narcissist got super crazy insecure. Like crazy insecure. But also at the same time, I started pulling away, and I started this coaching program that was awesome. I finally got the support and care I needed to finally see what I was worth, because you won't feel that way in that relationship. You're going to feel like you're worthless, and that your needs and wants don't matter, that you don't matter, and you feel erased and crazy. So that's where I was at that time. So while getting coaching, I started pulling away and really turning all of the care, love, energy, time, money, everything. And instead of putting it on the narcissist, I put it on myself. So coupled with me getting the new job and me focusing on myself and learning how to love myself, those 2 things made it look like I was cheating. And there was literally nothing I could do to help him see that I wasn't. He had it in his head. He was so delusional. Like he made it up and then he believed it. He could not dispute it. And he even tells me now, because he was in therapy, he told me that when his mind started going down that path, there was nothing he could do to change it. That was the end. Like it didn't matter what I say or what I did, or even what he told himself. He couldn't stop thinking about it. He became like absolutely obsessed with it. And then what happened, and this is the part that I would have never tolerated in a million years, was like a blatant disrespect. Like before, everything he did was very like subtle and covert. It was very disrespectful, but it was things like not making eye contact and not acknowledging the things I said. And those are easily like, well, I'm distracted or whatever. You can easily give excuses for those. But it went from subtle and covert to blatantly disrespectful, blatantly abusive. And then I was like, oh, hell no, this ain't, he's testing me, and it ain't going to turn out well. So I was just like shocked, flabbergasted that he was saying these things. And this was so unlike him. He was very passive aggressive. So these things were very out of character for him. And I would say it's about a 3-month period when this started happening that it was the beginning of the end. And then so every day his anger increased. So it literally felt like the temperature in the house had been turned up every single day. It was turned up a few notches. Just you could feel in the air the tension, the stress, the walking on eggshellness. That's not a thing. I just made that up. And that's how much it sucked. So things all came to a head when my daughter was crying and I tried to talk to her and he blocked me. I got my purse, and I left. And I was like, I was losing it. Like I was so freaking upset and so shocked. And I just couldn't take all the anger. I couldn't take walking on eggshells, and I definitely could not take him standing in front of my child, like him preventing me from getting to my child. So got my purse, got in the car with her, and we left. And I text him, I'm like, look, I'm done. I'm done. And then actually, no, what happened is I forgot my purse. I had to go back. I got my purse. And then he's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm getting gas. And he's like, no, you're not. You're effing lying. Like, I know where you're going. And I'm like, loco, you're fracking loco. So go park somewhere nearish to my house. And then I'm like, you need to go. No, don't be there when I get back. And then, of course, some crazy drama happens. He makes a scene. He goes to and stays at the sister-in-law's house. He makes a scene there, blames it all on me. And I'm like, nope, you're responsible for your actions. Because he was literally saying this out loud in front of neighbors. This is all your fault, blah, blah. Nope, you're responsible for your actions. You're a grown man. That's what I said. It was batshit crazy. Crazy. And then, and this is what people won't tell you, is the fallout of that. Like, people will say, leave the narcissist, leave the narcissist, leave the narcissist, but they don't tell you that many times it gets worse. The best scenario is for the narcissist to leave you. Okay? To leave you. Because when you leave them, it causes a huge narcissistic injury. You're going to see the rage. Okay? And if they leave you, then that's a narcissist discard. And then you're in horrific pain. Your abandonment wounds are opened. It's horrific. Okay? And then the supply is paraded under your nose. So the best case scenario is to get them to leave you. Either scenario that I talked about, the discard or you leaving them, is very, very challenging. But what they won't tell you is it gets worse. Because then you may have to deal with stalking. You may have to deal with them always coming by and hoovering and this and that. And it's just crazy. It's just more crazy making, not to mention if you have kids. So if you have kids, like, my heart really, really goes out to you, because then you are connected to them forever because you have that child. Unless they're one of those that want to have nothing to do with your child, which hurts your child. It is nuts. Any way you slice it, a lot of times it gets worse. Not to mention if you're trauma bonded. And that, let me tell you, 6 months of solid pain, like emotional pain. And the only person I've seen talk about this is Melanie Tony Evans, and she talks about the fallout of a narcissist relationship, and you'll feel worse when you're addicted to them. I mean, because narcissist relationships are addictive, but when you're trauma bonded, is like a whole new level, okay? Because the intermittent reinforcement gets you addicted, right? But then the trauma bond is from the highs and lows of the idealized value discard, of the narcissistic relationship cycle that just spins around and around and around. Like, it'll make you dizzy from they're happy with you or calm, then the tension builds, and then they lose it, and then they're apologizing, or they do something else to make it up, or they just pretend that nothing happened, and then it's back to being calm again. That happens over and over and over again. And the more intense it is, the more trauma bonded you will be. So not only did I kick him out and have to deal with the narcissistic rage, then I had to deal with being trauma bonded and the pain of that alone. Getting a coach is really important. Like, that coaching program I was in was so vital, because it really helped me build myself up to be able to have boundaries. Like, I couldn't stuck with my boundaries without people helping me up. Like, we all need people to help us up when we feel weak. So finding a coach who has the experience and the education to help you. You know, not just trying to go to a therapist who says that they can help. And they help general things, but narcissist abuse isn't something that counselors are educated on. I know, because I have my master's in counseling. We are not taught in school. You're taught one course on the DSM-4. Now it's 5. And then you learn about the personality types, but they're breezed through. And they don't focus on any specific type for very long. Like, that is a week or two. And then they're moving on. We weren't even taught about domestic violence. We weren't taught about emotional abuse. Psychological, any of those. We weren't taught any of that. So don't expect someone who has regular training to be able to do that. Like, they'll need specific training and or experience to be able to hold that space for you to heal, hold your hand, and be able to tell you, well, this is how you heal that. So if you find a coach that specializes in that, then you're going to save yourself a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of suffering, because you will get hurt. You'll get further invalidated and gaslit with therapists who doesn't know what they're doing. I know, because it happened to me. That's what happened. That's how I left the narcissist. And it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. For 6 months, it was pure hell. So if you've been in that situation, let me tell you, my heart really, really goes out to you, especially if you have kids, because then that's a whole new hell. Thank you for listening, guys. If you have any questions, post below. If you want to get in contact with me, check the description. All right, guys, thank you for being here. Check the next video. I know it's going to be a huge help. Here's to being your greatest, most amazing, badass self.